Welcome to another edition of We Ain't Them, and thank you so much for joining us. And honestly, please do not forget, before we begin, to like, comment, and subscribe. Our Instagram is at @WeAin'tThem_, TikTok the same at @WeAin'tThem_, and of course, follow us on YouTube and all other streaming platforms, Apple and things of that nature. Spotify too. Right. Our links will be included in the in our description. Sorry. So, Kevin, other than spilling some tea, y'all can't get that tea. I'm sorry. Y'all don't have access to that.
No, not
and
yet.
we ain't doing the Patreon thing yet. But other than that, how you been?
I've been good. Let me tell you something. I've been thriving with the people that we will be talking about all month.
Amen.
All my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just excited about that. My birthday's, I'm a Leo. I love my birthday.
I already have it in my calendar.
I love my birthday. My birthday coming up. Leo season. Shout out to all the Leos.
It's in my calendar.
Pisces I think it was just Pisces just coming along. And then the crazy ass Aries is coming up too. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Shout out to you, Coobs. I love you, my sis. But no, my birthday, what I have planned, going to be crazy. I can't wait.
This is great foreshadowing. Guys, remember, his birthday's in August. Remember we had this conversation.
Right.
Because I know it's going to be a scene.
But good vibes. But how are you, boo? What's going on?
I've been better. I've been more lit. You see, I take off the sunglasses.
It's all right, girl.
I've been lit. I've been in a happier mood. I'm happy to be here with you.
Listen, I think that our conversations, both on and off camera, are just phenomenal. So
Amen.
I'm just thankful to be in the space with you again.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for making my drink.
Oh, a little something.
Taking care of me. Kevin takes very good care of me,
I love my baby very much.
I love you too.
I love my baby very much. My sherry dudun. I love you.
See, I ain't got the accent, but we do say doo-doo in Trinidad, so doo-doo, darling, I love you too. We have a little French thing going on.
There we go.
So, in today's episode, as you guys have heard me moan and cry and bawl and everything, y'all know I am currently a master's student. I am trying to pursue my MSW.
You're doing.
I'm doing it.
Getting, achieving, winning.
Yes.
Affirmations into your life and into the atmosphere for you.
Amen. Affirmations are so important, you guys. Thank you, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I am currently getting my MSW, and I am surviving. And I am not alone. As a Black woman, there's many of us that have either obtained our masters or we're getting it. We're getting it. I mean, the percentage of Black women in this country that are getting their education, higher education, is at an astronomical rate. And before I even say that, hello, we're in March. Period. Women's History Month. Period. So this is great segue. So yes, as I was saying, a lot of us are getting higher education. A lot of us are employed. We have our careers. And of course, with the boost of social media, things like TikTok, content creation.
100%.
And when I tell you, if I name the amount of Black female content creators that I follow to this day, from Jackie Aina to Lovely T to Yanni to Kimberly Foster. Oh my God, we will be here all day. And I'm not going to do that. But along with the content creation of women who are making that money, making that bank, doing their things, there are women out here who are employed. We have our prospective careers like myself. I'm going for the license. After the MSW is the license.
Come on, L.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm talking too soon. Let me not.
Okay.
Geniuses move in silence.
Ooh.
I don't quote Lil Wayne too often, but I'm going to quote him. Geniuses move in silence, so I'm going to just keep it there. I mean, how do you feel about the high percentage of Black women that are just doing their thing right now?
I'll say this. I was raised by a single Black mother. Most of my influences in my life have been Black women. So for me, the appreciation that I have is deep, 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 deep in my soul.
Yeah.
I it's kind of crazy. As I'm saying this, my mother's calling my phone right now, and I just had to send her the voicemail. So, Mommy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mom.
I'm working, Mommy. I'm working.
Hi, Mom.
But the influence that Black women have had in my life has been so tremendous itself, and especially within my professional environment, too. Again, I work for a Fortune 15 company. We won't say the name of the company. They're not sponsoring, and I also need to keep that job, too, because I talk a lot of shit. But I work for a Fortune 15 company, and the amount of women that I see in the company, I don't see that often. However, within the New York City area, there's so many dynamic, thriving, inspiring, just passionate women that I work with day in and day out that remind me of why I am an ally with you guys and why I will continue to fight with y'all. My director is a strong Black woman. Love that. My senior director is a strong Black woman. And it's just so inspiring to go into work day in and day out to see not only Black people thriving within a Fortune 15 company, but see Black women alongside me, to my left and my right, even though I did that backwards.
It's okay.
Is so inspiring. So yeah, that's just how I feel. Y'all are the catalyst. Y'all set the trends. Without y'all, what would, like, for real, without y'all, what would we do? So hats off to you, my queen.
Thank you. And no, I agree with you. As somebody who's very intuitive, really quick before we get into these questions, as somebody who's very intuitive, I had a vision a couple months ago. I have a side of the family that's very well established. I'm being very nice. I promise you I'm being very nice. And there's a particular family member, very established person, amazing. And this person is amazing in his career. And he's worked his ass off. Trust me, I will never disrespect the hard work. Never. I will, because I'm not in this person's shoes. And I'm trying hard not to mention the gender for a lot of reasons. I remember years ago, this person came to me and said, this person never really favored, like that side of my family, they don't know what I do. And they don't know what I do because they don't care. I'm not a doctor like many other members of my family, including like my dad. My dad's in the medical field. I am not a lawyer like my closest cousin, the only lawyer in the family. Shout out to you, Felicia. You worked your ass off, bitch. I love you. I'm not that. I'm in social work. So therefore they don't care. And I remember this member of my family, I remember telling him, hey, we raised so much money for the AIDS walk and this, that, and third and blah, blah, blah. I was so happy about that because a nonprofit, that's what you do. And I remember him saying, oh yeah, that's great. Okay. And just asking my cousin, oh yeah, how's Syracuse? How's law school? How's whatever? She wasn't in law school at the time. She was in Syracuse. But he was just more intrigued about what she was doing because we knew the path that she had decided to take. And it wasn't mine. And I remember I had a vision recently. He had asked me if I had a mentor back then. And I said no. And I remember having a vision a couple weeks ago. And I remember him asking me in this vision, do you have a mentor? Again. I remember saying no. I was like, no. Would you want me to be my mentor? You want me to be your mentor? I can be your mentor. And in this vision, I remember having the courage to tell this family member, no, you are not what I aspire to be. My cousin Felicia, that's who I aspire to be. My aunt, who's a RN, who busts her ass, that's who I aspire to be. My mother, who worked her ass off in human services, that's who I aspired to be. My grandmother, who came to this country with literally next to nothing. The level of education she had. To see that she became an RN herself, that's who I aspire to be. I am surrounded by so many women in my family who, when I tell you blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, and most importantly, time. And period. That's who I aspire. I don't aspire to be you. You're uppity as fuck. I'm sorry. So I just had to give that little mini story. I'm sorry if y'all don't care about it, but I care about it, and I needed to express that to you.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So I had to get that off my chest, and I had to bring that vision, because there are times where I have these things that pop up in my head. Like, it either actually happens, or if it doesn't happen, it's something that just constantly I think about. And I'm proud to say I'm surrounded by so many Black women in my family, in my life, even my friends. Don't let me start calling out names, Don't let me start to call out names, of women that are just killing it out here and
100.
supportive. When I tell you supportive, so I just had to express that. I had to.
And I think it was so appropriate to do that within Women's History Month. And again, not just within this month, within every day of the year itself.
Yeah.
Just making sure that you have that community and have just the time just to say, I see you.
Yeah.
Because, I see you.
Period. Thank you.
I see you. And I feel like, I don't say that enough to you. And I know I'm saying it here on the pod and whatnot, and it may be like, oh, he's doing it for the camera. But you know me. You know me. You know us.
I know you.
I see you.
Thank you.
And just know that the sacrifices that your ancestors have made, the sacrifices that your grandmother has made, your mother has made, is not in vain.
No.
Because I see you. And you're doing what you got to do. So
thank you.
I love you. And, always there from the side. That graduation about to be right there with my blowhorn. Boo, 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 boo.
Period. Yo, that graduation party going to be lit, bro.
And that's going to be it, okay?
Period. Yeah. Oh, they can't tell me nothing when I get that master's degree. Period. But no. But I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like I speak for a lot of women in our community. And I feel like along with that comes a lot of other aspects, a lot of things, a lot of things, right? Whether we have to code switch, which I've spoken about before.
We spoke about that.
Whether it's about, trying to, I don't want to say level up. I want to say progress in your prospective careers. And having other women that may not have had that same opportunity not be as supportive. It's happened. It doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't happen often, because it happens often. But I want to know, let me start asking the question.
Sure, go ahead, girl. I'm here to have it.
Period. And as much as it's just you and I today, I want to give a shout out to Kevin.
Our producer,
Big
let's
Kev.
go. Big Kev.
We love you, and thank you so much, because these questions are very thought-provoking, and I want to see what we have to say about it, what Kevin has, as well as our followers, our viewers. Let's see what y'all got to say about these questions.
And comment, interact. We're not scared.
Don't be scared of us.
If you don't agree with us, that's fine.
That is totally fine.
We here.
So, I'm going to ask you the first question.
Okay.
What challenges do Black women still face in the workforce despite the positive trends? And when I say trends, you know what I mean. The fact that we are progressing, the fact that we are doing the damn thing, Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is the negative stereotype that is portrayed in the media that I do feel is one of the things that we still face within the workforce when it comes to Black women. I think that for so long, Black women have not been given a seat at the table, and you guys stormed in the room and said, no, we deserve more than just a seat. We deserve the whole table.
Right.
We deserve the buffet spread that's happening there. We deserve somebody to come on ahead and put a napkin on our laps and cater to us.
Period.
As you should. And then, unfortunately, due to the white patriarchy that is established within America, that breakthrough that you guys did may be viewed as disrespectful or too much or too loud or too boisterous. So then it goes on ahead to go and try to work against you in that. And it gets me so frustrated.
Right.
Again, I work for a Fortune 15 company. I have to be really careful with how I word this. The Black woman who is currently my senior director was my VP in an acting capacity.
Okay.
I love her. I support her. I've seen her career just ascend, and she inspires me so much.
Right.
So much. And to see her get into a VP role, for me as a Black man in a Fortune 15 company, for me as a queer man within a Fortune 15 company, I'm like, yo, we are out here doing it in here, man. Like, this is crazy.
Right.
And they just demoted her.
Why? I mean, are you allowed to explain why?
I don't want to get too much into it.
That's fine.
But, they demoted her back to being a senior director and gave the VP to a more fair-skinned woman of Latin descent. And it's nothing against the Latino community or whatnot.
Not.
But again, in the situation that I'm in and the things that I experienced at work, it was very much, again, my senior director is a strong woman. She's going to tell you what her opinion is. She's going to make sure that she's listening to the people that she's going on ahead and servicing and doing what's right for the company as well in that vision. What I'm experiencing right now with my current VP is a yes-um.
Okay.
And it's so frustrating to see that. And again, my senior director is just like, listen, it's going to be fine. It's nothing to worry about. We're going to get there. We're going to do here. I'm still going to kill my role. And we're rallying behind her. But just to see certain trends and things like that happening is very frustrating.
Right, right. So just really quick, I didn't want to cut you off. When you say strong, because you refer to...
I do say strong.
No, I'm not saying that's necessary. Sorry, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just... If you can elaborate.
When I say strong, hearing her story and what she's been through in the past, having those one-on-one conversations with her, just really knowing how she hustle and grind. That's why I say strong.
That's
I say strong as something that I want to emulate.
Okay.
I say strong as something that helps me look up to and inspire to. I say strong because I want to give her flowers.
Amen.
I don't want to emulate the strong Black woman narrative that has been put out there.
Thank you.
Because it is tiring to hear. It's tiring for our Black sisters to go ahead and experience as well. So when I say those words, when I say the word strong, I say it in the most flower-giving way.
Thank you.
Because that's what you guys deserve.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I gotta catch myself.
Take your time.
It is so frustrating for me. It is so frustrating for me to see that as not only as women, but as Black women, you as a community overlooked, overshadowed, underappreciated, put into certain roles in certain places where you feel like that's all you should be. Again, let's if we're looking at it in the Caribbean aspect, right?
Yes.
Oh, I have a daughter. She's gonna be a nurse.
Period. Oh,
why is it just a nurse? Like, you know how many cousins I have that are just nurses?
Talk me things
and
down.
again, my family is like, she's a nurse. Why couldn't she just... Like, why was that the limit? Or why, when we're growing up, of course, when we're growing up, because, we have certain professions that we can only be in order to give our families, pride and status.
Something to
and
brag
a name,
about.
Why is it only those certain jobs? But for boys, it's so frustrating to see. For boys, doctor, lawyer, engineer. Females, nurse.
Yeah, or we better marry a doctor.
Or marry a doctor, marry a lawyer, marry an engineer.
Oh, yeah.
It's so crazy how limiting it is for us, especially in our community as Caribbeans, versus just aspiring to be where you want to be.
Yeah.
So whereas we're in today's culture, in today's age, and I'm seeing CEOs.
Amen.
I'm seeing those doctors out there. You know, I watch Married to Medicine, you know, to see these black female doctors out here doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Our VP is a female. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. And I just hate that we have that narrowing mindset. Yeah. However, I am thankful that, you know, my parents have immigrated here and I'm able to see a wider lens.
Right. And, you know, I just want to thank you because I know when you said strong, I know that was not your intentions. Right. But for the viewers, I wanted them to understand your intentions, which is why I wanted you to elaborate on strong. And honey, let me tell you, I've been meaning to get into I've been trying, I haven't given it a chance, Married to Medicine. I don't know what the fuck Phaedra doing on that show, but I want to give Married to Medicine a chance. I love Phaedra too. No, I love her, but she doesn't fit that shit. Let's be real. Oof. I told you, watch Carlos King's thing. He gonna tell you why it don't work. But anyway... No, but Married to Medicine, from what I've seen, yes, I love them. I love, was it Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly? I love them. I love what they represent. And I will say this, for me, I will say that I am blessed because even though, I wasn't the type of person in college, I had a job. I didn't have I had a job in college, but my first job in my career was literally right after I graduated.
You're blessed?
I am. Yeah, that's why I say I'm blessed because I know people.
Because I was struggling
right after college. What the fuck? What the fuck? So I will say this. I wouldn't call it a trend. Before I address the trends, I want to talk about the blessings. Right. The blessings for me is that after my first nonprofit, which was GMHC, that was ran by a man. He was amazing too. But when I moved to the Alliance, the CEO is a woman. She's a white woman, but she's also an ally. But the CFO, Black woman. VP, Black woman. And let me tell you something. I am not surrounded by Black women in those positions. And I'm sorry, I'm getting so emotional because I know, the CFO of my organization, she is such a beautiful woman. And she sees me like a daughter. And her daughter's name is Ebony, too. And her daughter used to... Sorry.
It's all right, girl.
No. Ebony, please don't cry. Okay. And she'd say, Ebony, your job is to have my job eventually. And to be honest, my experience with, and you could call, I don't give a fuck.
Ooh,
I don't give a fuck. Y'all could call me pick me all day. My experience with Black women was not like that until I got there. To see that other Black women want me to succeed.
Yeah.
Put the sunglasses back on because it's real. It's real because I'm going through a lot at work. And no matter what I'm going through, I know I can walk into that woman's office when she is there because she's busy. When you CFO and you VP and you all this, you busy. To see that I can walk into that woman's office any fucking time is unreal. It's unreal. It's a fucking unreal. So I am blessed. But let me talk about the trends. For me, in my perspective career, and, finally elevating, I recently became assistant director at my position. Praise God.
Amen.
Glory be.
Hey.
I'm going to tell you right now, I am not the only one. And I know you've heard this term before. Imposter syndrome?
Oh, gosh.
Imposter syndrome?
I have it in my job too.
Feeling like you don't belong. Feeling like, whoa, how I get here, boy? How I reach here? You know? How did I reach here? No, don't get me wrong. I'm qualified. I can do the job.
Yeah.
But to see, and I think I feel like imposter syndrome not only contributes to how we are viewed in society, like we're less than, we're not deserving. It also that stuff also contributes to our insecurities. It plays with us. It's like, yo, you got the education, you have the experience. On paper, you're that bitch. You've been that bitch. But how I reach here? That's how I act. I ask myself, I'm like, yo, assistant director, I could do it. I could do it. But damn, it's a real thing. That's a trend for a lot of Black women. And I want to definitely honor Black Women's Month, but I want to ask you as a Black man, because I want to address just us as a people. Have you ever had that experience? Because that is a trend.
Yeah. I think that, and I'm trying to keep it together, I'll be honest with you. I think that as marginalized people, because again, not only as a Black man, as a queer Black man, I have grown up with a lot of hate and disrespect.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I have that I can maybe stand on sometimes is the fact that I am a man. And I see my privilege in that.
Yeah, misogyny for sure.
100%.
Not misogyny, sorry, patriarchy, forgive me.
And I see that. But when it comes to in these workspaces, again, for you being an assistant director, I'm a senior manager at my job. In these roles that we get and these titles that we're given, I think within our community, we can go on ahead and be like, yo, you doing that. You got that. You worked your ass off to get that. Then sometimes when we turn around and flip it back into the worlds that we're in at work, we sit there, like you said, and be like, how the hell did I get here? And do I deserve? And we as a community, and again, as an ally to you and as an ally to me,
period,
we have to be those people that really come with each other and say like, yes, we do deserve.
Yeah. I deserve.
Listen.
Period.
you better come on, Mama D.
Mama D.
Mama D. But we have to say that we deserve. And then again, even in these spaces and everything that's going, even with all the trends that are happening here, even with the unemployment rate that's going up, when it seems like it has been coming to Black women in their jobs and in everything that they're doing, and the rate of unemployment amongst us, amongst you guys, is going down. We have to come into that and be like, no, you deserve.
Yeah.
We have to find those communities within ourselves just to be like, hey, sister, hey, brother, hey, this, hey, that. What's going on here? How can I help? How can I be a voice of change, of a beacon for you? And again, in the role that you're playing right now as an assistant director, there's somebody who is coming out of school who's going to go on ahead and see you as an assistant director and be like, yo, my sis is doing that. I can do that. And I think it's the camaraderie around Black women that I envy the most. I envy the most. Because as Black men, we're not as united. As Black men who have different identities, divides us even more. And when I look to my left and I look to my right, and I've always identified with women way more than I've identified with men.
Okay.
But again, when I look to the left and I look to the right and I see how my sisters hold each other down, I see my sisters really sit there and be in the trenches with each other. When I see my sisters really just sit there and be the people to lift me up, you guys are a rare breed. And I don't want to say that I thank you, because I don't think that's enough to say. I know you're getting emotional.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I need you guys. I need you guys. And this is not just Women's History Month. For me, it's every day. I need my mom every day.
Yeah.
But everything that she's been through in her life and the struggles that she's told me about and whatnot, like, I'm still surprised how this woman made it on raising me on a $25 a week child support check from my father. Working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
But still making sure that I had after school, that I had food, that I had every opportunity out there in the world and whatnot. Like, how did she do it? It still boggles my mind. How did she do it?
Yeah.
I'll never forget, there was a time I was in school. I needed a loan. My mother co-signed that loan.
Yeah.
And
my parents too, yeah.
I was just like, she don't have the bread for this, bro. Like, how is she doing this?
Yeah.
To the point where my mother and my stepfather ended up getting a divorce from each other. And I was away selfishly, because of just the way that I grew up, and I just didn't want to be around that any longer. And I just sat there and I was like, she's calling me and like asking me, what do I do? How do I move? Like, what's going on with, like, Kevin, I don't know. And I, like, selfishly in that moment, I was just like, I can't be here for you in this.
Yeah.
And she still figured it out.
Yeah. That's not,
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do it. And
I don't know how we do it either. And it hits home because, it hits home for a lot of reasons. My fiance will tell you, a lot of people will tell you that hits home. And, you know, I want to go back really quick because I know we talked about the trends. We're still on the first question, but I just have to say, you know, I feel like as Black women, we need to continue to support each other more because I describe my scenario as a blessing.
Yeah, that mentorship.
Yeah, I describe my scenario, and maybe in other work scenarios, maybe other Black women are supported. You know, maybe they are. They are, and if you are, God bless. You know, and you know, another thing I will say, the trends is that as Black women, really quick, because I want to get to other questions. I will say another thing that we do face, and once again, it's a blessing for me because my organization is mostly Black women. It's Black women. There's we have a lot of women of color at my agency. It's not just Black women, but it's mostly us. And then even the women that are, the white women that are there, they are allies. Trust me, I've put them through the test. They allies. They allies. They allies. They love us. You know? But that's not always the case for a lot of other Black women. And viewers, please, if you can, we want to hear your stories. I know some of them, but I want to hear more. We want to hear what you guys go through, women, what y'all go through. Because I know, along with the code switching, because if I don't have to code switch for the CFO, I know I have to code switch when I meet with funders. Mm-hmm. People that are, remember, I work for nonprofit. Mm-hmm. People that are giving us money, I got a code switch. I got a presentation on Monday. I got a code switch. And it's not much code switching for me, but period, it's not even so much in what you say or how you talk. It's your mannerism. Mm-hmm. It's the way you put your hair. It's even the colors you wear. Mm-hmm. Everything. That's a trend. That's another trend I want to talk about. The fact that we always have to mellow down, calm down. Like, why can't you just take us for who we are? Black women are different from, women of color are different from white women. We just are. It's in our DNA. And we should be proud of that rather than feel bad about it, I feel. Like, I shouldn't have to feel bad because my hair is kinky. I shouldn't have to feel bad because, okay, while you wear a black suit, you wear a cream suit, I want to fucking wear an orange suit. Remember that? I don't know if you grew up watching Martin.
You know, I did not find Martin funny.
Moving along swiftly, in the words of King of Reeds, moving on swiftly and professionally, Gina did wear a tangerine suit. I'm just saying. One episode. But, you know, we want to, and I think along with all these aspects that you may not understand, it makes us beautiful. It sets us different from the rest. And on top of all of this that sets us differently from everybody else, we have the qualification So let us be us. We know how to be professional. We know how to work a room. Let us be us. Your organization, your company, whomever you work for will be in a better place. Let Black women exist as Black women.
Amen.
But let me just say this, and Kevin, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. You know, that's why I was trying so hard not to get, like, you don't understand. Hearing that from a Black man is fucking refreshing. We already know it, but hearing it from a Black man is beautiful. It's amazing. It's what we need and what we need so much more of. You know, and there's gonna be some Black women. We don't need that. We know we beautiful and blah blah. Yes, we are. We know, but it's good to hear it from other people because every other woman gets the flowers. We want it too, and we deserve. Not only do we want it, but we deserve it. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you. Now, along with just honoring, I want to just talk about just the African, like us as Black people as a whole. Whether you're African American, you're continental African, or you're Caribbean.
I thought you was about to go say you're foreign. I was like, yes,
foreign. Yeah, foreign. You could be Black and be from France. Period. Once you're a foreign Black, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the African diaspora and like how it affects, like in terms of how we look at employment. And things like that. So I want to know, Kevin, right? Like, how has the historical legacy of the African diaspora influenced the educational aspirations and the achievements of Caribbean people? Any thoughts?
We have had so little for so long that seeing examples of what others have had is just like, you got that, I can get that. You know that, I can know that. You speak that, I can speak that. So no matter what, we've always gone on ahead and seen what was out there, known what it can go on ahead and do for us, and have done it better.
Right.
100%. So for me, when it comes to, if we're talking about influence or aspirations, there we have that. I don't think it was an aspiration for us. I think it was just another level that we needed to hit.
Yeah.
And we got there. And we're going to keep climbing and keep going. 100%.
Okay, so for me, I don't mean to get woke.
Okay.
But I'm going to get woke.
Come on, Fizz.
I feel like we've always been there. We've always, like, when it comes to the historical legacy of the African diaspora, I feel like when it comes to, I'm going to take it back to the days of Mansa Musa. One of the richest African men, right, at that time. To now, I feel like when it comes to the historical legacy of the African diaspora, it's always been there. But we were never taught that.
Yeah.
That's why there's a big fight in the government when it comes to critical race theory and things like that. Like, you heard about that shit. And especially in Florida. They trying to ban books. Like, anything to educate Black people, they will fucking get rid of it. George Johnson, you see, I took off my sunglasses. People all day saw me in these sunglasses and told me I look like her. I'm taking it off and I'm telling you, my hat's off to you. Because even with forgive me, even with them, like, they had book bans. They tried to ban the book. And it blows my mind how whenever Black people try to educate.
Yeah, all boys aren't blue.
All boys aren't blue. They came out with that book and they tried to ban it. They did ban it, I think, in Florida. And it just goes back to show how every time we try to educate, you know, people may not say, oh, history. Like, this is part of history. I don't give a fuck. Right? From Mansa Musa to George Johnson, historical. How they tried to censor us and quiet us. But how do you feel that that's affect, like, our historical legacy and, like, how we grew up and things like that? How do you feel like that's affected, like, the Caribbean, like, the achievements of the Caribbean people?
I'll be honest and say when it comes to the achievements of Caribbean people, I don't think that we have to go on ahead and compare that or put that on a comparative space to that of the Caucasian and or whatever counterparts. Caribbean achievement is Caribbean achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Point blank, period. So when I see a Caribbean oh Lord Jesus, if I could see a Caribbean person going on ahead and being a dentist, being a doctor, if I see a Caribbean person going ahead and flipping houses and getting flipping houses and making a profit off of that, if I see a Caribbean person going ahead and doing really good in NFTs, if I see a Caribbean person going ahead and doing anything so like that, I go on ahead and just say continue to level up. Because again, when it comes to a space of comparison,
yeah,
that doesn't leave room for growth when it comes to everybody else. Let y'all do y'all own thing.
Right.
Call it in. Let y'all do your own thing. I don't care.
Right.
But as far as us and our diaspora, let's continue to go ahead and chase after that and do what we have to do in order to truly get to where we want to be. Because if we continue to compare ourselves to others, how can we get there? Because comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, that's true. But let me ask you something. As a Black man in your field of work, or even in just your work experience, have you ever experienced in general, like, because I can get to it in a little while, but have you ever experienced like any type of, I wouldn't say animosity, but like when you're dealing with other, like Black people that may be from the other aspects or other points of the diaspora, like have you experienced any type of, I don't want to say discrimination. We don't discriminate, but we do stereotype.
I would say in my experience, no.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the privilege that I have as a Black man.
Okay. Let me challenge you on that. You think it's just as a Black man? Really?
Okay, as a man in general, I could
Not
admit
even as a man,
that.
but like take the gender out of it.
Okay.
Like,
no, keep going. Keep.
I don't know. Just take the gender out of it.
So I feel like no. I feel like when it comes to, and this is gonna sound so fucked up. However,
talk the things them.
This is gonna sound so fucked up. However, this is definitely what I have been taught. You know, growing up, growing up in where we grew up, the 90s. Growing up in the 90s compared to what these children are going through now is two completely different things.
Absolutely.
I remember knowing from the age of 14, 15 how to write a cover letter. I remember by the age of 16, 17 knowing that I have to have a resume if in order I wanted a job.
Right.
I knew by the time I was in college that I needed to go on ahead and intern and network and do all these things in order to go on ahead and achieve. All of that was ingrained in me.
Oh, yeah.
So because that was ingrained in me, and I'm growing up in a world full of baby boomers who don't even know how to save a PDF, but it's fine.
What a regressive generation, boy.
Which is fine.
Talk about regressive, but continue.
However, but because I grew up that way, I knew what to do and how to be better.
Right.
100%. So because those things were ingrained in me, I feel like, no, I've never had those experiences because I feel like my mother really went on ahead and said like, yo, this is what I came here for.
Right.
This is what I need you to do.
Right.
And this is how you get there. So again, even if we're talking about like the stereotypical doctor, engineer, whatever the case may be, you know, like let's keep it 100. If we're talking about, am I a disappointment, quote unquote, to what the Caribbean lifestyle is or whatever the case may be? Absolutely, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I am too.
I love it 100%.
I am too.
Because it makes me and I am me, and I'm still Black, I'm still Caribbean, you know what I mean? And I'm still going to be who I am.
You're still doing what you gotta do.
But I'm doing what I have to do, and I'm excelling in what I'm doing, and I'm loving what I'm doing. Because even in this space that I'm in right now, which is a passion of mine, I'm still doing what I gotta do and quote of the day. But again, I just feel like all of that was instilled in me so young, which is why I don't feel like I've ever experienced that.
Yeah. I can resonate with what you're saying as somebody who grew up in a Trinidadian household. Like, going to college was not an option. It was a priority.
Priority.
You ain't going to college? What? I don't like.
If you weren't in school, you were a bum.
Yeah.
You were a bum.
Yeah, for real. And I mean, there's other intersection, like when it comes to intersectionality, there's other things with that because I feel like there's a lot of Black women in my family that have higher levels of education. And then there are Black men in my family that did go to college but just got like an associate's or whatever. And they're deemed successful, I guess. I don't know. And this is no disrespect to people who had an associate's. Like my mom has an associate's, period. Like college is college. You did the extra step. You did what you needed to do.
Girl, learning and experience.
Learning
hold on.
learning.
But that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother thing.
Whole
so this is not no disrespect to those. Like once you went to college, you did your thing, period. Work is motherfucking work. I don't care. The first 2 years in St. Francis fucking killed me. And that's what it takes to get an associate. 2 years, right? Right. So hats off to the associate people. I'm sorry, that sounds so fucked up. Hats off to those who work there. Let me take my glasses off. I don't know why my fiance gave me these glasses. Hats off to those who got their associates, period. If you have an associate's, period, you get your flowers. Not you get your flowers too, but you get your flowers,
there we
period.
Go.
Right? So I will say this. That's the thing. Like, it was not an option. College was not an option. It was a priority. I know that's not the same for a lot of fucking people. And I will say this, just varying back to where to the workspace today, I've encountered, like, other Black people. Like, I'll never forget the time I walked into my office, and it was right after New Year's. And I don't know if you know, and we got to talk about this. I don't know if you know about New Year's in Ghana.
Child, I'm trying to go.
We'll talk about it. Girl, I'm sorry. We'll talk about it after. Because I want to do Ghana in New Year's. For New Year's, Ghana. Period. Ladies and gentlemen. Ghana? New Year's? If y'all ain't with it, y'all don't know? All right. So I was talking about it. I went to my office and I was like, oh my God, everybody's going to Ghana. Like my parents had went to Ghana too, but it wasn't for New Year's. It was like, I want to say they went in November and then New Year's was like a bop, right? Shout out to Jessie Wu because she vlogged about it.
Yes.
Her vlog is amazing.
My sister.
Period. Sister, as you say. I can't sing like you, girl. But anyway. Shout out to my fellow Cancer sister, Jessie Wu. Love you. But yeah. I remember I walked into my office one time and I was talking about Ghana for New Year's. And my coworkers who were not Caribbean, they were African American. I think one of them was like half Hispanic, half American. And they was just like, I ain't going to Africa. There's nothing out there I want to see. Everything I have here is in America. And listen, that is true. Let's fix your face. I know.
I'm gooped and gagged.
I gooped and gagged right then and there. But then I had to say to myself, okay, they make a point. Everything that they could ever have and ever want is here in America. It is. I mean, other than racism, you don't get that in Ghana, period. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to be unapologetically Black and around unapologetically Black people and just not have to worry about code switching. Like, period. And I don't think they saw it my way. And I've had people at my job tell me things like, oh, no, I don't want to do that because I think she watches the podcast, so I ain't going to do that. But I've had people say things like, oh, y'all just want to wait. When I had gotten engaged. Where's the baby?
Jesus.
I don't have a baby yet. Oh, we waiting for the baby. I was like, you going to wait till I get married? Oh, you going to wait till you're too old to have a baby? I'm like, that's not true. Like... That's not true. Like, I know people, my grandmother had my uncle he's much older than me. He's in his 40s. But like all his other siblings are 60 and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, so my grandmother, God bless her soul, she had my youngest uncle at 52 or something. So it's like, it's possible. Like, stop. Yes, we understand the complications. Yes, we understand all these things. But like, Okay, I'm 32. I had stopped counting after a while. I had to check to see how old I was the other
Child,
day.
35 around the corner.
Let me tell you something. Somebody asked me my age. I was like, I think I'm 33. I'm 31. I stopped counting. But I'm 32 years old. I'm a woman with no kids. I do intend on having kids. And I will say this. Like, people our age are having kids much older. But my thing is, I was raised where it's like, yo, like, if you, like, you can't help fate. But how I was raised, you have a baby after you get married.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, even if my mother never raised me, my parents, not my mother alone, but my dad too, if they never raised me to think like that, I would still have that mentality. I feel like I still would. Like, I don't know. Like, I want my education. I want to make sure I'm okay so that when my child comes into this world, I can give them everything that they want.
Mm-hmm.
My parents gave me everything. Oh, they tried. Let me not say, because I'm not spoiled. I ain't get everything I want. But they tried. So my thing is, like, when it comes to diaspora, I feel like there are some differences. I feel like in terms of mindset. And it's not as millennials.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it's genuinely our fault. I feel like it's how we were raised, the generations before us.
100%.
We have Gen X. Is it Gen X? And we have the baby boomers, which is like by far the most regressive.
Child.
Both our grandmothers are baby boomers. If I'm not I'm guessing with you. Baby boomer, right? Your grandmother's a baby boomer?
No, child.
She was before that? Oh. What's before baby boomer?
Child, no. My grandma, well, she's not here no more, but still, love you. But yeah, she's not here no more.
Both my grandmamas, I think, are baby boomers. I want to believe. Right?
My mother,
very regressive.
let me not do that. I shouldn't say ladies.
She baby boomer too? I think my parents are on the tail end of baby boomer. I don't think they Gen X. My parents are not Gen X. So maybe both our grandparents are like before baby boomer, right? So like very regressive, very whatever. Like I just want to know, like, what impact does the stereotype of laziness have on the opportunities and treatment of our African American brothers in various aspects of society, such as employment, education, and healthcare?
Laziness is, I don't think it's laziness at all. I think that it is definitely, it's just all stereotypical, and I just
Very
hate
much.
it. I just hate it. It's so stereotypical. Because again, I can be excelling at something or learning something at a quicker pace, and because it doesn't interest me, or not as it doesn't interest me, but it's just like I'm done.
Yeah.
I got it already.
Yeah.
I'm good. Now I'm lazy. Or the same way maybe I learn differently and I can't be tuned into something or whatnot, whatever the case may be, now I'm lazy. Or maybe I don't have the opportunities to go on ahead and truly experience this in its totality. Now I'm lazy. So I just feel like no matter what, like it's just the crime of being Black.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, again, we as a people have so much. But again, the same grace that other counterparts are given in diagnoses, in understanding, in everything else like that, we're not given, and we're labeled as lazy. So I just hate that it goes on ahead and it falls on us in that retrospect. I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're being very nice. And you know what? Here I am being stereotypical because I know you're Haitian. And I've dated enough Haitians to know not y'all, but how y'all parents, your aunties, your uncles, grandmother, grandfather, and this is not just you, it's mine too. The things they've said about our African American brothers and sisters. And I will say this, not all. My parents didn't raise me so, but I know there are certain Caribbean people who do feel like laziness, and African Americans are it's synonymous. And for a very long time, I believed it. I have a cousin who is half Trinidadian, half African American. And I said something years ago without even realizing my uncle, who I love dearly, was from North Carolina.
Mm.
And I said something, I won't repeat it because it's disgusting. And my cousin had to turn to me and say, Ebony, you know, you don't hear what you're saying. And what you're saying is very hurtful. I was maybe my freshman year in college when I said that. And I want to say, like, granted, I was younger. I didn't know. And I will say this. We have to get out of this mindset, and not just us, all of us, whether you're African American, Caribbean, continental African, we have to stop this shit. We have to stop this shit when it comes to employment and who's lazy and who don't want to work. And we have to stop this. As much as we talk about, like, how we like to do all the work and we like to work hard, and we came to the, like, your family came to this country, and yeah, we've came to this country and stuff. We have to get out of that mindset. We have to stop. I feel like we all have to, as a people, we have to love on each other. We have to stop, and we have to uplift one another. Like, I don't, like, honestly, although I heard that growing up, being in the workforce, I'm not surrounded by that. I'm surrounded by people, Black people of all aspects of life that work hard, are educated, smart. And I do understand that the people who may not be there, it's just a result of systemic racism.
Yeah.
Period. And I think we need to get out of that. And I think there's accountability to be taken on all aspects. It's not just African Americans. It's not just Caribbeans. It's not just continental. Because we say our shit, they say our shit. They say their shit. Sorry. And I think we need to get out of that mindset. And I think once we do, and I think that was done on purpose. And I hate to get woke.
No, you good.
I started talking about Mansa Musa. I'm going to talk about the transcontinental slave trade. Right, I'm going to talk about that. And the thing is, that was done in a way to separate us, because they know if we all band fucking together, we fucking kill their shit. And we still killing their shit. Being divided as we are. Crabs in a barrel as we are. So I feel like overall, we just need to get out of that mindset. We do. And I do feel like, going back to Black women, we need to continue thriving, surviving. We're doing our thing. And hopefully, I don't have the stats in front of me. I want all of us as a people, Black women and men, to get there where we're equally there, and we don't have to feel like we're up on this thing by ourselves. Or even for Black men, when they excel in their field, like, okay, like when it comes to the dating pool, there's no one that looks like me. You know what I mean? Some of y'all purposely like that, but there are others who are surrounded by that and feel like there's nothing, well, not nothing, but they feel like that's their choices. So I feel like we need to come to a place where we're all uplifting each other, and I feel like there's power in numbers. I mean, what do you feel about that?
I think that in this millennial generation, we have the power to not be our parents. We have the power to not be the generation that was there before us. We have the power to really look at the example of what was done in the past and really go on ahead and make a change for the future.
Yeah.
We understand the stereotypes that are there. We understand the ignorancies of our people from our past. We understand the bullshit that we're going through right now in our current society. However, again, as a people, we have the ability to band together to understand where each of us are coming from if we choose to. And I feel like more and more of us are leaning into that option. So we can come to the table, we can link up with each other, we can understand where each other are coming from, and make the conscious decision to not make the mistakes of our past.
Period.
And again, the more that we come to these tables, the more that we have these meetings, more that we build community, like you and I have, like our friends have, like the way that we can look around and look at our circle and look at our support partners and just be like, yo, they have our backs. The more we do that, the more progressive we'll be.
Amen.
And I just pray for that to continue to happen. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you. This has been a wonderful, emotional.
Child.
Ooh. I ain't never cried on camera.
Child.
Don't judge me.
I wanted to hit my Candace and I didn't have no napkin.
The triangle. We had to get the cry-angles. Next time we will have cry-angles.
We'll do that next time.
Shout out to Candace. We love you.
We love you, girl.
We love you. Even though Giselle doesn't, we love you.
Girl, wrap this up.
With that being said, thank you for watching another episode of We and Them. Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, and check us out on YouTube as well as Spotify and Apple. This is your girl Eccentric Ebs with
Negro with that Creole.
Period.
My name's Kev.
Yes, and shout out to my baby Rasan, another part of our podcast, as well as Kevin.
Big Kev.
Big Kev. Shout out to the both of you. Thank you so much for watching us, and we'll see you next time.
Later, y'all.
Bye.